I didn't know what I didn't know. But what I did know is how to feel better. I learned how to feel better because that didn't feel good. When I didn't have a loving relationship with myself, when I didn't even know that that sort of a thing existed, I had these feelings that, I didn't quite measure up to the rest of the world. I don't always do the things I want. I haven't reached all my goals. I'm not there yet. How's that supposed to be okay? How am I supposed to fully accept that and have that me be okay? I keep making all these mistakes. What's okay about that? It's not okay. And so I just I had this conflict on my mind. It's like, as we make a promise, keep it, make a promise, keep it. I suggest that before you make a promise, you really think it through and make sure that it's something that you're going to do.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today we're joined by Shane Jacob, professional horseman and life coach who has transformed his own journey of struggle into a mission of empowerment for parents and teens. With a heart full of empathy and a passion for helping others, Shane's insights are sure to inspire and uplift. So let's settle in and explore the wisdom that has guided Shane on his remarkable path. Can you tell us your name and what your favorite quote is?
My name, Shane Jacob.
Okay. What's your favorite quote?
What's that?
Your favorite quote.
My favorite quote? Well, I think my favorite quote's one that I came up with myself. There's so many good quotes, but the I'll give you one if I can pin it down exactly. It has to do with how that we as human beings, what we believe about ourselves, and because I think that what we believe about ourselves. I'm going to give you two quotes. One is from Brene Brown, who says that who we are and how we engage with the world are much stronger predictors of the people we lead, of the kids that we parent, than what we know about leadership and parenting. Really, what it is what's inside of us is going to equal our results. My quote, my actual favorite one that is direct from mine, I want to make sure that I say it right, is also related to that. And it comes down to is, really what I think all of what life comes down to. I've come to believe, and trust me, I've had plenty of experience doing this life thing and failing at it. I can assure you of that, I've had plenty of failure getting there. And so I guess I'm trying to still decide which kind of quote to go with here. Because I believe that, I'll just say this, that we must commit to an intentional lifelong pursuit of a loving relationship with ourselves and come to know of our infinite worth if we are to achieve our potential, get the things we want, have the capacity to love the people that we deeply care about, and make our contribution to the world that we were destined to make.
Oh.
That is my favorite quote.
Okay. There are so many parts to that quote.
There is.
That caught my attention is loving relationship. What does it mean to have a loving relationship to ourselves?
Yeah. It's a great question. I appreciate you asking that. And, the thing of it is that one of the things that derailed me as a young man was that what I thought about myself. I didn't even know that I could think things about myself, that I could choose what to think about myself. There I just was. And for some reason, I thought that, that I was deficient or inferior in some way. I didn't know what I didn't know. But what I did know is how to feel better. I learned how to feel better because that didn't feel good. When I didn't have a loving relationship with myself, when I didn't even know that that sort of a thing existed, I had these feelings that, I didn't quite measure up to the rest of the world. And I really didn't have a reason for that. I mean, if you look at human beings, I think it's not part of the curriculum in school. And so as a result, I didn't feel good. The thoughts that I had didn't feel good. And so then what I did is I started drinking alcohol. Okay. Then I felt better. I found the solution to my problem. The thing of it is I created a worse problem. Because when I would drink, I would drink and then I would do things, and then I got in a lot of trouble, and I mean, I caused a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and I mean, big time. Okay, done some stuff. I ended up in prison. There's some things that just can't be fixed in this world, and that's what happened. But it all started back at your question: what is a loving relationship with yourself? Because I didn't know that could be had. And so I thought the way to feel good was to drink alcohol because that gave me a temporary feel good. It felt pretty good. I felt okay with me. It changed how I felt. So, but that cycle fueled my drinking, fueled the bad feelings. Okay. Which fueled the bad thoughts, which fueled the bad feelings, which is a terrible destructive cycle is what it ended up being. And I was in this cycle for a lot of years, a lot of years. What I have come to know is that it's such a big question, but what I've come to know is that everything, all of our results in this lifetime, and I think we all kind of know this, but I don't think we're really doing anything about it. I read and I hear you talk in your podcast about, hey, I don't want to hear the fluff. I want to hear what can I do about it. We kind of know that what's inside of us and the way that we think about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves to be true is influencing our outcomes. But I don't think we know how much, and I don't think we really pay attention, or maybe we just don't know what can I do to change how I feel and believe about me and create this loving relationship with myself that's going to actually equal better results.
The reason I'm so keen on the word love in relationship is that a lot of persons, they don't even know that they have a terrible relationship with themselves. They don't even respect themselves. And so it's how do I say this now? It's just like if if I don't respect you, right? If I don't see you, if I see you as I don't really see you as anything. I don't put you of high esteem, and you come to me and you tell me, um, um, I would love for you to do this and do this. I just look at you and I just say, I just kiss, and I'm like, nah. Do I look like I'm interested? And that relationship is what a lot of persons have with themselves. They've lied to themselves years and years and years and years again. That even when they tell themselves that I'm going to do so and so things, they don't even believe themselves. They don't even
Yeah.
believe it because they have a terrible, like their reputation is so terrible, very terrible with themselves that because all through the years that I'm going to do this, I'm going to uh, be serious with this, I'm going to be serious with this, and none of those times have they ever held up their word. And that for me, you put loving relationship, how we see how when we love ourselves, it affects what we do and how we live to our potential and our full capacity.
Yeah. It affects everything. You brought up some really interesting things in what you just said right there. Very powerful and very much a part of our self beliefs. A couple of things that I just want to respond to. One is that you're right. A lot of us don't know, right? We don't know, and so we just respond. We just continue this cycle of responding to the world without intention. And, one thing that I've come to know is that it's easy to understand the concept of a relationship with yourself when you apply it to other people. We know that, right? I can have a loving relationship with my husband, or with my husband or wife, with a spouse, with a friend, with my children. I can see that. That makes sense. But when I relate that to me, in other words, am I saying and thinking things about myself that I would say and think about people that I deeply love? And so that's one way to understand it. But the second thing that you brought up is one of the 7 habits that I use in stable living coaching to develop strong beliefs in ourselves and a loving relationship. And I think what you were getting around to was, or the way that I would describe what I thought, understood you to say, is that a concept called what I call make a promise, keep it. But basically it's discipline. Okay. Because what we want to do is we want to trust ourselves. We want to be somebody that we can count on.
Yeah,
And when we don't keep our promises, it means something to us. We make meaning out of that. And usually what we make it mean is that we're not dependable. We're people that don't follow through and so on and so on and so on. And these thoughts are coming out in ways. And so one way that is imperative to change, to have this good self-belief is to become somebody that you can count on. So how do you do that? There's a couple ways that you can do that. Because really what discipline is it's exchanging a short-term comfort for a long-term gain, discomfort. So you're gonna agree to go through a short amount of discomfort in order to get a big gain on the other end. And I'll give you a couple examples of that to make the process really simple the way I see it. But as we make a promise, keep it, make a promise, keep it. I suggest that before you make a promise, you really think it through and make sure that it's something that you're going to do, because what you do with what not to just go and say, well, I'm going to do this and then don't do it and think it's not going to mean anything. It does. You need to be something that your words mean something to yourself and to the world. So begin with that. Here's my example. Okay. If I say I'm going to start waking up at 5 a.m. from now on, all right, Shane, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. Dang it. I'm going to gain an extra hour or two or whatever. And I'm going to use that extra hour to do this and that and the other. Okay. And the alarm clock goes off at 5 a.m. and I don't want to get up. Okay. So let's just say that I don't get up. I keep hitting snooze. I keep hitting snooze. I don't do it. Right. So now what happens when I finally wake up at 7? I'm like, oh man, I never follow through. I mean, it was too much. I can't do it. I shouldn't have set this. I always set goals and I don't keep them. So I feel bad. I make it mean I'm bad. Okay. I also didn't get the reward of what I could have got done in those 2 hours when I was sleeping. Not only that, but this is going to impact what happens to me in the long term, because these thoughts that we have about ourselves, they mean things, they come out. Okay, they come out in our results and other things. Just take a quick look at the next another scenario. I say, hey, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. from now on. I'm the kind of person, if I say it, I do it. So I set that alarm and it goes off. And you know what I feel? I feel the same way. I don't want to get up, but I say to myself, or I use music to change my state. And I say to myself, I'm going to do this. And I get up and there's a little bit of discomfort here because it's so much more comfortable in sleeping in bed. But I get up, 10 minutes, showered, coffee, breakfast, whatever I do in my morning, I do my morning routine. The discomfort probably lasted only 10 minutes max, right? Now I've got an extra 2 hours that I didn't have before. And you know what my thought process says to me? My thought process says, I am the kind of person who keeps my commitments to myself. I'm a disciplined human being, and that's the way I am. That's Shane. That's what I do. And I got the reward of this. And I also get the future benefit of who I'm becoming that I believe. And so this simple example of waking up is how what you're talking about works. And you can apply it to all the things that we commit. And that's how those little baby steps is how we get to believe that we're dependable people. And then those results come out.
Yeah, it's a strange thing that we judge people by their action. If someone says they love you and they care about you, but the action speaks otherwise. You ask them you're in need, they don't help you. Everything they're doing is against you. Like it's against your own good, it's against your success, it's against your progress. But they're like, oh, I love you. I care deeply about you. You know I love you. You know I care deeply about you. Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. And then you're like, nah, I don't think so. You're a con artist. You're an actor. You just pretend. Like yesterday, you were talking bad about me. Yeah, behind my back. Yes, you said you love me, you care about me, but you were talking bad about me. You're backbiting, and the actions is what we judge. But when it comes to ourselves, what we then do is we judge ourselves by our intention. Like, oh, I have the intention that I'm going to become a better person. That's what we judge ourselves by. We don't start asking ourselves that, wait, what did I do? The last 3 months, I said I was going to take my personal finance serious. What did I do? Did I start budgeting? Did I start saving? Did I start looking at doing my due diligence? I said I was going to learn this thing. What have I done? How have I looked at this stuff? Am I serious? Am I the actions I'm doing? Is it reflecting a serious person? We don't do that. But when it's someone else, we're like, oh yeah, that person is not serious with his life. Like, I mean, he said that stuff, but now look at what he's doing. It's easy. But for when it comes to ourselves, we don't. The funny thing is that we don't even know that that stuff affects us future time, because then you hear people start saying that I'm not the kind of person that works under pressure. Who told you that you're not the kind of person that works under pressure? How did you know that you're not the kind of person that works under pressure? Because over the course of your life, you've had instances where you know you do that repetition, and so for some person they say it out loud, for other persons they reflect. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot there too. And so one of the things that you said, I love that. I agree with you 100%. That's a great comment because what other people say and do about us, okay? If their actions don't mean it, as we change how we truly believe, okay, and beliefs can change. If
yeah,
we can intentionally, if we know how, a belief is a thought that we hold in our mind and we continue to prove it to be true. Over time, we can change what we truly believe. Okay. That changes us as we develop this relationship with ourselves. Okay. If we do this intentionally, if we come to unconditionally love ourselves more and more over time, I become less reliant on what those other people are doing. Now, whatever they're doing or saying, if they're saying and not following through with their actions, uh, all that influences me. Okay. It's a tremendous influence on me. The outside world and human beings in it, what happens to me, what people say and do, that influences me, but it doesn't control me. And the more that I come to realize what I want to, develop my own beliefs about me and become less reliant on somebody else, the more empowered that I can be. Now, you say, well, you also mentioned like how do we judge ourselves? This, which is a really good comment too. What do we judge ourselves on? Okay, I suggest, and this has been hard. This is a hard one for me. I fought this concept for a long time. The concept called self acceptance. Okay, because here's what I thought. I thought, hey, I'm not where I want to be. I don't always do the things I want. I haven't reached all my goals. I'm not there yet. How am I supposed to be? How's that supposed to be okay? How am I supposed to fully accept that and have that me be okay? I keep making all these mistakes. What's okay about that? It's not okay. And so I just like I had this conflict on my mind. It's like personal development and self-improvement, and I want to be better and I'm not there yet, but you're telling me that everything's okay and I'm supposed to fully accept myself. It didn't make sense in my mind. What I have come to realize, and this is really important, is that if we can fully accept ourselves, okay, just the fact that we're breathing, and I mean regardless of what we've done, regardless I mean, and let me just tell you something, okay? We've all done some stuff. I've done some stuff, okay? We've all done something that we're ashamed of, or we don't want to talk about this and that and the other, and we make it mean something about ourselves. Every human being has some amount of shame, or, you know, we've all done something. And I'm saying, regardless of what you've done, regardless of what you have not done, and regardless of what has been done to you, if you and I and everyone listening can come to know that regardless of any of that, you're still an invaluable 100% worthy, perfectly invaluable. Okay. Even with all your flaws. The more that, and love yourself like you would love your child, like you would love your spouse, regardless of what they've done. A lot of times, most of us, when our kids make mistakes, we don't, you're like, oh, you're that kid. I don't get out of here. I don't love you anymore. I'm not even going to talk to you. Look what you've done. We don't do that with our kids. And so that's what I'm saying. The more that we can fully accept ourselves, regardless of what actions we've done or not done, the more that we can do that, which is not really simple to do. It's simple, but it's not easy. We need to be intentional. We need to take steps to do it. But the more that we come to do that, the more it's like a paradox. The more that we accept us now, the more that it opens up like the pathway to progress.
yeah. I like one of the things I like you to do is I like you to read the quote again. Like, you know, it's I would just love for you to read it again.
My quote?
Yeah.
Yep. My quote is that my message to the world is that we must commit to an intentional lifelong pursuit of developing a loving relationship with ourselves and come to know of our infinite worth if we are to achieve our potential, get the things we want, have the capacity to love those that we deeply care about, and make the contribution to the world that we were destined to make.
I mean, the quote is self-explanatory, but yet it's more like it's a starting point for everything and anything we want to do with our life.
Exactly. You get it. Yeah.
But
It is the starting point. See, I just want to say something about that. And that is, it is the starting point. And the thing of it is like, if I take, let's just take right now, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-image, um, my self concept, my relationship with myself, self confidence, all of that, and wrap it into this thing that we're going to call what you truly believe and hold to be true about yourself, your beliefs about you. Okay. If I take all of that, the majority of the us I have found in my experience in life is that we kind of have this idea that we're kind of confident already. We kind of already had that. We got that done, and so now what's next? When in truth, these beliefs, these thoughts and ideas that we believe about ourselves are are ever changing. It's an ongoing, lifelong pursuit that needs it's a pursuit because if we're not intentional or if we're not involved in it, we're at the mercy of our circumstances of what happens to us. So if I'm going along and I'm feeling pretty good about Shane today and somebody says something to me and it didn't sound too good and it kind of hurt my feelings, and so now what do I think about me? Well, I'm down here now. Oh, and then somebody gives me a confident compliment and maybe I feel like I'm up here. But I can control that. And so if I don't control it, I'm just at the mercy of I'm not in control, right? And so if I see that and recognize it, I can continually work on improving this just like any other relationship over time. It's not going to be a perfect deal. We're not going to, accomplish it and then it's over. This is a lifelong pursuit of just like any other relationship.
yeah, well, thank you so much for this, for sharing your quote with us, and thank you so much for walking us through it and sharing your own story of how you struggled with alcohol, and alcohol was more like it was you were in an attempt to find something that was missing. You went for that, but then later on, I'm glad that you were able to recover from that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Where can listeners learn more about? You did mention about the course of the conversation that you code or something like that. Where can they learn more about you and just check out the stuff that you do?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. You can find us. We're on all media. The best place to start is at stableliving.com. I have a free weekly video that I put out, which is just about like a 1 to 3 minute video each week, and you can sign up there. It's called "You Are Destined for Greatness."
Oh, 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 oh. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.